YouTube, hello, Twitch. Well, Twitch I've been playing with for a little while now because we've been doing some Among Us. Hope you guys are doing well on the YouTube side. If you would like to give the stream a thumbs up, please do. And if you want to catch more, please hit the subscribe button. Very much appreciated. Hope you have a lovely time here. And if you're watching back the VOD, leave a comment below. Okay, let's get started on gaming today. Music is... Is music loud? I think music is okay. Is that's game audio. Okay, sorry. OBS changed its orientation of things, so I'm a little bit discombobulated. Okay, right. We are fishing. That's what we're doing. We're fishing. We got lots of fish already. And what we have been doing, actually, I need to show you guys what I got the other day. I'm pretty sure I got this off stream the other day. So a day or two, it's either yesterday or the day before yesterday. It happened while Viking was streaming, so Viking actually had to check out. Alfie, how are you doing? Good to see you, dudes. Yeah, look at this wall over here. It is complete. This particular section here. It's so good. How are you doing, Alfie? I'm doing grand. I am a bit tired because it's a busy week for me, but other than that, it's fine. Also, guys, I'm a little bit annoyed as well because so I have a Microsoft Surface for work, and it's a few years old now, but the charger decided to break today. So yeah. Fortunately, the laptop still had enough power to last for what I needed it to use it for, but I now need to go see if I can find a charger that will charge a Surface that's a little bit older. So hopefully I can find one without having to go. There you are. It's not even an obvious break. It's just like it's not working. I don't know why. I'm like, come on, can you? This is where I kind of wish I bought a Surface back more recently, so that the EU would have forced them to use USB-C, because then USB-C, yay! Everyone then has to use the same chargers. But yeah, this wall over here is complete. Your girlfriend's having same issues. I hope it's not. I hope it's not a laptop issue. Though I think I'm covered insurance-wise, so I think it should be. I should be covered there if I have issues there. But I don't think the insurance is going to cover a charger. It'll be worth me getting a new charger anyway, because the charger I'm using is a slow one, so I need to get a faster charger anyway. Jellyfish, yes, we do have jellyfish. We've got one jellyfish. This is the Nether Kingdom's fish here. Well, Nether Kingdom's aquatic creatures. Because we got lava fish, we got fire jellies, and we got rock lobster from the Nether Kingdom. But yeah, and then again, like, we actually are just perfect example of another kingdom that does not do just fish, because they've got the Mangrove Kingdom has got only one fish and is dead. And then the others are a shark and an axolotl or derpalotl. Anyway, let's go fishing and we can chat over there. Also, yes, my fishing rod is called Revenge Against Devon because I lost my fishing rod thanks to Devon's raid. Ooh, yeah. That was your jellyfish, wasn't it? Oh, whoops. That was an accident. Oh yeah, this is... Anyone who missed this, I was working on this the other night. I'm pretty happy with how this is going. But yeah, we're gonna fish today. Let's just fly over. It'll be... Give us an opportunity to check the thing. Look behind me. Inside the inside the thing. Yeah, so I know Fool has been working on this. I think that bit there is finished. So we're going to expand out all the rest of these vines here. I'm going to build The lava lake is going to turn into a river at this point, and the river is going to go under this bridge, and then it's going to go over to a second lava lake over here. And it looks like... Hello. Welcome.
Hey! Make me a believer! Believer! Hey! Make me a believer! Believer! Sorry, you jump scared me. I freaked out and screamed.
That is that's quite so that's quite has your voice gotten even louder?
Panic. Panic is
Yeah. That's fair. That's fair. What I see you have you've grabbed yourself a plot.
I have. I checked with Fool. He said pick anywhere. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna
go
pick
for it. Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
So
that's perfect.
the
Yeah.
birch house will
We're
exist.
thrilled. And I think I heard that Leon might be coming on and doing a spruce one later as well.
Yeah, I wanted to get something down prior to the launch because I'm doing the watch party for the rocket.
Yeah,
so,
dudes, that's exciting.
So I wanted to get something down though before the launch, like so I could show that I am going to be working on it.
No, it's great.
But
well,
yeah, I'm
you've
trying
got your
to
plot.
emulate this because like this is like the thing that's here first.
See,
it's like.
Yeah, that's a cool idea to try and... the thing is, Fool used a very interesting technique. Like, he just went with a different block with each layer.
Yeah. I was thinking doing something like this.
Yeah.
With, like, keeping the stripe theme.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
So then it's like... And then the logs in the corners, obviously. But
I
was
like
trying
it.
to think of other blocks. I could use sandstone, maybe.
You could. What other blocks have you guys been using a lot over in Birch as well?
Prismarine, quartz.
Like, those are pretty good ones.
Copper. Yeah. I think that could work. I just wanted to get the frame out, and now I can go get the blocks, Fun little stream activity,
Yeah.
I'm trying to crack out all the fun little stream activities. For example, after this, it's a pumpkin pie train over at Acorn's train. So.
Looking forward to that. Right.
Because I now have a double chest of pumpkin pie. So yeah, have fun fishing.
I'm gonna go fish. I'm gonna see if I can get the which one was it? Oh yeah, Acacia Legendary today. That's what I'm working on at the moment.
The one I have 2 of. Yes, good luck. Have fun.
That's the one you got 2 of. Okay. On the plus side, I do have 6 6 Kingdoms Legendaries. So.
Nice. Well, good luck. I have 6 Kingdoms Legendaries as well, I think. Or no, 7, because I have my own. I have 7 now. So you're catching up to me.
Oh, dude.
I haven't done any fishing in a while, though. So see you later.
Bye. Oh, yeah. Thanks, Alfie, for doing that. I was tempted to play with my food, but you know what? I think in this case, it's an interesting one. Someone comes in with that with a comment like that to an Irishman. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Anime Wolf, thanks so much for the follow. Welcome into the course. If you want to know how your day, please do. Sit back and relax. Oh, right. Brexer, if you want to send any messages, have fun. We could spar if you want. I think I'm really close to Ruby right now. And Acorn.
Well, that's what's interesting. Like...
Oh. Hello.
Oh, yeah. Oh, hi, Nazra.
So you guys are... I didn't realize you were working on the island right beside the fishing pond. How are you guys doing?
Oh, you're fishing.
Yeah. I got my first shiny prickle fin the other day.
Shiny lesbian.
I got a shiny lesbian.
Yay.
But yeah, I'm working towards getting all the legendaries. So, yep.
Cool.
Well,
I know.
this is looking
Neither
awesome.
of us have the legendary.
Has anyone got the legendary for Acacia? Yes.
Beck was the first one. And then I think
Oh.
someone else got it.
Mm-hmm.
Forget who.
Well, I'll leave you guys to it.
Chat says hi.
Hi, chat. I'm sure my chat also says hi back as well.
Yes.
I'll
Probably
be...
gonna have to deafen yourself because we're gonna be yapping over here.
You guys yap away, and then if you need to catch my attention, just drop me a message in chat, and I can. I don't
Sounds
mind
good.
popping in and out. All right, see you in a bit. Okay, right. Let's do some fishing. I'm gonna park myself under leaves in case it turns nighttime and we have to do the thing. Just have to wait for just a moment. I missed a fun bit. Yes. So yeah, we've got a lot. I've been doing a bit of fishing over here already. So what I noticed was that I have gotten all the legendaries on the south side of the server. Yeah. So technically Acacia is on the cusp of south north. Because they're the one that are directly on 0-0. Yeah, I've got all the legendaries on the south side. So I've got the oak, pale oak, bamboo, nether, and mangrove. So my goal is let's try and get the legendary from Acacia today. Maybe we'll do a little. Let's see if we can do a little poll or a prediction. Let's see if we can do a little prediction in chat, and let's give it about maybe 5 minutes for people to get in their votes, and we can do a little prediction to see, will I catch the legendary today or will I not? And I think I'm going to use Wednesdays as my fish gaming Wednesdays. I'm going to treat that as the day to come in and do some fishing each day, each week. The other streams of the week I'll be focusing in on the building stuff that I need to do. So yeah, we're going to be competing for the legendary. I'm going for the mangrove one. Yes! I already have the mangrove one. Are you doing mangrove right? Oh, you're doing mangrove right now. Oh, I just spotted that Elfie's online. Oh, okay. That's fun. Okay, yeah, because like statistically wise, guys, if I catch the legendary, it's very unlikely Elfie's going to catch it. So, vice versa as well. So yeah, we're competing with each other right now against the statistics as to who's going to get the fish. Actually, I don't know if it is a fish in Acacia. I know in mangrove it's an axolotl. One. So yeah, very excited for that. Oh. Oh, also, I forgot to say hi to Red Lobster. So Red Capricorn. How are you doing, Red Capricorn? I missed a few streams. Also, Viking is in your kingdom. I'm having to say hi, trying to catch up on Bannerfall. Oh, right, yeah. Bannerfall is getting close to the end as well. They've only got like 5 more days, I think. Derpalotl. Isn't that what you call it? The Derpalotl? Also, I need to check. What was Alfie's score again? Alfie's on 113. I'm on 111. Yes. Oh, guys, I've been watching I've just recently completed a 2nd season of a show called The Mayfair Witches. It's on Netflix. It's an interesting show. I don't know if it's necessarily the strongest storyline ever. But I've enjoyed it. It's been kind of like interesting watching like an interpretation of magic, which is kind of like supposed to be very mystical and very kind of like it's supposed to take inspiration from like old school ideas on magic and stuff like that. Like especially from old storytellers and stuff like that. So it's kind of like traditional witchy, making deals with devils and stuff like that. But it was, yeah. So this I'm not going to put any spoilers, but the setting is mostly New Orleans. So New Orleans, Louisiana is the main setting of the show. However, a couple of episodes this time took place in Scotland. I say Scotland, inverted commas, very strongly because I recognized quite a bit of the scenery that was used in this Scotland. I was like, hang on a second. This looks like County Wicklow, which is the county south of Dublin, which I've been to quite a bit because there's a lot of nice walks and stuff like there and a lot of nice countryside. I'm like, Scotland looks very like County Wicklow in Ireland. Also, they decided to go to a village in Scotland and they called it Kilbride. Now, Kilbride, it turns out, is actually a brand of Scotch or a Scottish whiskey, but there's no place called Kilbride in Scotland. Kilbride is actually a town in Ireland. Anyway, it was interesting kind of watching the that show and thinking, okay, you were a bit different, bit like using locations and kind of like not being and like if anyone knew the area, I'd be like, why are you doing that? Like, for example, the story takes place the story in Scotland is supposed to take place in one of the Northern Islands. The Northern Islands are off the northern coast of Scotland. Marmalade, thank you so much for the redirect. I think that was a redirect. I think YouTube has changed how they're doing things. Oh, Marmalade, thank you so much for the raid on Twitch as well. Here, let me just do a quick hello here before we do anything. Welcome in, Raiders. Did you guys have a good stream? I know Marmalade was doing some end raiding, end busting, I think. Welcome in on Twitch and YouTube. Did you guys have a lovely time? Twixie, welcome in. Mini Marsh Meow. Oh, what a name. I love that. Mini Marsh Meow. Purtle, Kid Bear, welcome in, guys. You had a very productive end raid. Fantastic. Shawnee Kins 88, thanks so much for the follow. Can I get a shout out for Marmalade on oh, sorry, it's already been done. Guys, please go follow Marmalade, my fellow Skyblock Kingdomer. And give them a little lurve if you have not yet been following them yet. Go hit that little heart up top and make sure that it is coloured in. But yeah, if you don't know who I am, my name is Nathra. I'm an Irish content creator. There's an awful lot of Skyblock, and we're currently on Skyblock Kingdoms, and it is Fish Gaming Wednesday, which means I am fishing for the legendary. I'm trying to get the legendary fish out of this pond here. So lucky, and not a horrible time at all. No? How many diamonds did you get? Fingers crossed. I hope you got some diamonds out of it as well, because I've got a couple of directions in the end, and I've had some bad luck getting diamonds that way. Anyway, if anyone needs to go raid and run, please do go look after yourselves, and I will catch you again soon. But if you would like to stick around, you're very welcome to come in and sit around and chat. I was just chatting about a show that I just recently watched on Netflix this week. Called The Mayfair Witches. They have a second season, and decided to watch it, and a good portion of the second season is based in Scotland, but it was filmed in Ireland. And I was like, okay, I recognize this place. I recognize this place. I recognize this place. We just got a whopper. We just got a Prickleton Whopper. Nice. Okay, so we're now up to 112. We've nearly caught up to Alfie's score. Mom was truly having a crazy stream. I'll take your. I hope it was a good time though. Like at least, hopefully got all the things you needed out at the end. Hopefully she didn't go the direction that I have been harvesting diamonds from, because yeah, I've been through the end quite a few times harvesting diamonds. From end cities in the southeastern part of the end, which means there's not really very many elytras in that direction. She totally didn't have a spare shulker box of elytras before end busting. Oh, that's funny. You know, that happens. All these things happen. Also, by the way, guys, we're also competing with Alfie right now. So Alfie is also fishing for his legendary. The thing is, legendaries are pretty rare, so legendary fish will only have got a pretty low chance of being caught. Which means if he catches a legendary, it's not very likely I'm going to be able to catch a legendary. Also, Ribby is for some reason flying into the pond, but okay. Marm was really having a crazy stream. Marm whole stream was peak. She was playing peak? I thought she was playing Minecraft. Yeah. But anyway, that has been that was something I was curious. That's what's been going on anyway. But yeah, I've been thinking about all the games that there are on this server as well, actually, for no reason in particular. Like no reason in particular. Should I just catch Ruby next time she jumps into the water? Maybe she's picking up water for the for the build. Maybe she's grabbing water sources or something. But yeah, I've been thinking about what games there are currently on the server. There's a lot of games. Did I include chorus gambling? I did not include chorus gambling. I can't believe it. I forgot that one. There's so many games. So yeah, so let me see. We've got, what are people's favorite games from the season? Gotta love a fun, good mini game. Ruby Fish would be a rare catch for sure. Very true. Yes. What were people? Okay, let's go through the games and then people can let me know what their favorites were for the season so far. I say so far because I believe there are other games on the way. So we've got the ice boat race, which ice boat course, which Leon's recently built. We've got Werewolf, which has been around for a while, built by Nuke. I think there's a Neo Quest or a parkour thing out in Dark Oak Kingdom. I think there's this one. Is not ready yet, but I am planning on building a Strider race in the lava next I'm building, so that will be one. There's the back rooms. So yeah, the back rooms is one that the Birch Kingdom ended building. She's definitely grabbing water. Yes, she's grabbing water. Technically there is one already built in. Hello. Technically, you could say that there's already one built in the ground because, like, the river could be considered a game as well. You could consider that a race. Elytra course. Milkman built an Elytra course using melons. We don't have this one built yet. I don't know if that'll probably be one that'll have to be built. There's the Colosseum, which could be considered a game or a gaming arena. I didn't put down chicken gambling. How could I not put chicken gambling down? Then there's chorus gambling and there's chicken gambling. There's a whole lot of games. You have to love when there are multiple backrooms built in the server. True. Yes. Well, no. One is called the back rooms. The other is the back looms. So, a bit different. Back looms. And then there's Milkman's shop, which I've nicknamed the escape room because it's torture. That's why I call that. Sandyland. How did I miss Sandyland? There are so many. Okay, I completely forgot about that one. Thanks, Frog. Yeah, Sandyland. Okay, well, that's good to have that on the list. But yeah, there's. I don't think anyone's done it yet, but we definitely should. At some point, we should have a swimming race in the river of the ground. Because like it would be something. It'd be a different thing. Sandyland, it's my favorite game because I was the first person to win it. I've been meaning to when I get around to uploading videos again, because I'm behind. I've been so busy with work that I don't have time to edit videos at the moment. But when I do get back to it in a couple of weeks' time, after the show that I'm working on is finished, I think I'm going to try and get out a couple of videos of games that I've played as well. So yeah, there's more content down the road when I am not so busy. Makes me want to set up a race course in the end to swim through with the same concept. Ooh, yeah, you could totally do that. Could totally be done in the end as well. Yeah. I think it'd be even freakier in the end because like at the end, you've got the black everywhere. So the fact that like the sky is all dark everywhere, whereas at least in Skyblock you have the kind of the frame of reference of like, okay, there's the up and the down. So yeah, that makes it a bit different. Oh yeah. Anyway, oh, I caught it. There was an interesting video I caught the other day. So I've been getting back into watching SciShow. So anyone who doesn't know what SciShow is, well, if you don't, I don't know where you've been on YouTube these last few years. But SciShow has been around for a long time. It was created by Hank Green. And it's an educational channel which tells basically it's like gives short videos on interesting science facts. So all sorts of science, all sciences, all facts and knowledge that can be shared. It's really, really good. But recently I've gone back into watching some of the stuff. But kind of just like going through the videos that they have, and then a lot of the videos have been made a bit longer format, some were shorter, but they had one recently which talked about alchemy. And it was fascinating because like the video actually started by introducing Isaac Newton. Most of us are probably familiar with Isaac Newton. He's the guy who had the apple fall on his head and he figured out gravity, or the basics of gravity. And that it was more of a physics idea rather than an alchemy idea, at least as far as people were pretty concerned. So yeah. Anyway, this video was less about this video is more like a history of science rather than necessarily a video on like explaining scientific principles and stuff. Or scientific knowledge and stuff. So something it brought up was what alchemy actually was, and that a lot of people think of alchemy as pseudoscience or pseudo magic, or like basically trying to the arcane and the occult and all that jazz. And it kind of was, but it also wasn't, because the thing with alchemy is alchemy had got a reputation. It got a reputation over the years because it was somewhat a chemistry science, or chemistry, which chemistry is like a mix of alchemy, chemistry kind of thing. Say it's like about halfway between the two. So what we have to remember is that chemistry is a fairly new thing. It's only a couple of 100 years old. Whereas alchemy is obviously a lot older. But the philosophies behind alchemy are philosophies. They weren't... And people think of it as like magical and all that jazz, but I have to remember that magic was not necessarily about like what we see in magic show, like in TV, like TV depictions of like stories and stuff like that, where people can actually have supernatural powers. Magic and science, magic and alchemy and things like that, they were the unexplained and then trying to explain the unexplained. So your alchemy was a form of science that was trying to explain how the world worked. It focused in a lot more on metallurgy, and it focused in the chemical lens. So a lot of the time I was looking at like things like, okay, how do we create medicines and things like that. And a lot of the philosophies that were had about chemicals and stuff over the years from a long time ago, they were wrong. They didn't quite have the right idea. So the basics of alchemy were that you could, in theory, change one metal into another. And what we have to remember is that until the last couple of centuries, we didn't realize that a lot of metals are elements. Like, people didn't realize that iron was an element. People didn't realize that gold was an element. We didn't know that these things were not interchangeable, at least not without nuclear reactions. You can change a metal into another metal, provided you have the ability to. Some metals, provided that you can use radioactivity and stuff like that. So technically you can, but it's a lot more complicated than just like mixing two chemicals or a couple of chemicals in a jar and hoping that it does the thing and then heating it up. So, but historically, the way that we got to the point where we realized, okay, this is where chemistry was coming in, was that a lot of those techniques over the years from alchemy are connected to, or are basically a natural progression into modern chemistry. But what had actually happened throughout the years, like with a lot of knowledge over the years, is that, see you in a second, Slipshot. Over the years is that people were going around saying, oh yeah, no, I'm gonna be able to turn lead into gold. But they didn't have, they said that they will be. They didn't say that they could. But a lot of people were charlatans. Like with anyone who uses knowledge, they would have used knowledge to try and to basically win over, get money and to exploit people and stuff like that. Not everyone, not all alchemists, but there would have been quite a few chances out there, which meant that alchemy ended up getting quite a bad name for itself over the last couple of centuries, up until it was pretty much banned by the science community during the 18th century. So it wasn't banned, but it was basically said it was disavowed. So it was considered not science. So if you wanted to work in chemistry, you had to be a chemist, and that became like the accepted order. And like, we have to remember also, like, in those days, like, communicating about things was done differently as well. We didn't have the internet. We didn't have like instant information across the entire planet. So didn't have newspapers even. So a lot of information that got around from place to place was done by just like storytellers or word of mouth, like people just talking, going across the countryside and stuff like that. So like you got wandering storytellers and stuff like that. So it is very easy for stories to be told about alchemists that put them in a bad light, even though not all of them are bad. And like a lot of alchemists would have used code to basically keep themselves safe, because like if they didn't use code, it would have been easy for people to turn around and say, well, these guys actually don't know how to turn lead into gold. But yeah, it's the stories that stick are the ones that will spread. Exactly. So it's all and like, even you see it today, you see it on the internet. It just changes over a lot faster. A lot faster. So, and people still abuse those systems. They still abuse systems of like abusing the story and just like saying, "Hey, look, this is how I see it." But this is no, they don't say this is how it is. They say this is how it is, rather than this is how I see it. Yeah. So it is people abuse story all the time. And we have to remember, like, we all observe the world a bit differently as well. So it's which is a cool thing to be able to say. Which is why I said on Twitter yesterday, I said for Trans Visibility Day, I said some people are different, some people are awesome, everyone's awesome, and if you have a problem with those differences, grow up. So like it's yeah, but like the historically alchemy, I found it fascinating because like the philosophy behind alchemy, the reasoning why they thought that you could transmutate a metal into another metal was down to impurities. So nowadays you can make a metal a lot purer because you've got really good techniques for removing impurities out of metals. Whereas before chemistry got a lot more advanced, before it became chemistry, when it was chemistry or when it was alchemy, and when it was the old school metallurgy, so much, so many of the observations of metals kind of like led people to think, actually, yeah, this could be transmutated. So historically, it was seen that all metals were a combination of sulfur and what was the other element? Oh, I'm kicking myself now. Why have I forgotten it? I've also been trying to get the Nether Legendary, but so much dedication and time. It takes time. It's a slow process. It is a slow process. Like, look at this. I've been trying a while now in Acacia, so I'm hoping that'll give me a good chance. But if Elfie catches his legendary first, then, well, I'm not going to blame him. It's good for him to get it. But yeah, was a sulfur. So it was basically saying that all metals are made out of sulfur and sulfur because of the smell. Oh, sulfur and mercury. So the rules were sulfur and mercury because they basically said that because you can melt most metals down into that kind of liquidy state and it looked like mercury. That was the philosophy behind it. And it turns out the reason why they said sulfur was because a lot of metals, when they were smelted, also had some sulfur in them as well, just like from where they were mined, or some of the impurities were escaping. So there was I smell sulfur, so that means that there is sulfur in the metal. So if you go off the philosophy that all metals are made out of a combination of sulfur and mercury, but not mercury metal and sulfur, the two elements, not the element of sulfur and element of mercury. You're just assuming that all metals are a combination of those and created in a certain form, maybe with other chemicals involved. Again, remember, nobody realized that these were atoms at the time. So they're just like, okay, these are things that we find in the world. And we know if we combine them in a certain way, we could get gold. Or we can get silver. Because they didn't realize that silver and gold are base metals. So what I'm hearing is that Athra is becoming an alchemist witch. Yes. Troggers! Hi, Troggers. But yeah, that is I think it's a disservice to. I think it's a real disservice that historically, I think we kind of assume that science really is just something of like from the age of enlightenment onwards, and that it really was kind of like it just kind of like jumped ahead away from all the what they would have called maybe pseudosciences from pre-Renaissance. Quilby! Ah! There's oak all online. So oaky. I think Quilby was streaming on Twitch as well. Actually, I think he is. Yeah, didn't he say he was streaming tonight? I think he said he was streaming tonight. So I'm guessing he was streaming over on the creative server. Yeah. So I've just been absolutely enamored by that video that I watched recently, and like the connections between like magic and science, and how in reality, what we view, what like people who practiced magic or practiced those arts over the centuries, which really was like forms of alchemy and stuff like that. It was science. Like people were using empirical evidence to try and back up their claims, and like they were testing, they were trying to recreate. They were using scientific methods of like properly, and like it was all about like trying to figure out how the natural world worked. Not the supernatural, the natural world worked. Nice idea. So I think that's something that we need to remember with like when people talk it, like we think about, if you go back over time, like people genuinely did believe in magic. But like it was all a lot of the time that magic stuff was fairly naturally accepted. But what we also have to remember is that also during those times there was plenty of examples of people abusing their knowledge, like basically doing like what magicians do these days, which is magic tricks, and using their knowledge of logic and reactions and stuff like that to make things seem magical. So scientific discovery and belief in the arcane is really neat. I think it is something to, I think we have to understand that like the arcane is what they were, a lot of people like natural, like we have to remember, like scientists didn't call themselves scientists a couple hundred years ago. What was it, naturists, I think there was one of the words for it. So they were exploring like how the world worked. That's always what it's always been about. Alchemists were exploring how the world worked. Natural philosophers, that's it. Yeah. So natural philosophers grows out of philosophy. And you just keep going back all the way to like ancient Egypt, all those times, all those people, they're just like looking to see how the world worked. And sometimes the knowledge is lost, sometimes the knowledge survived. And at the same time, you had, welcome back, Slipshot. At the same time, like you go back, you realize like a lot of the time, like there's people are using that knowledge, like they would have been like, that's where stuff like gods and stuff like came from as well. There were people who studied the sciences. And like there was one example given of lunar eclipses. So people have been able to, there's been people who've been able to predict lunar eclipses for like thousands of years ago. And for example, what they use their science to do is they were able to predict when the lunar eclipse happened. And in that kingdom, it was considered unlucky to be a ruler during an eclipse. But because the scientists, or the people who were able to do the research back then, weren't called scientists back then, were able to predict the they were able to predict when the eclipse happened. Because it was bad luck to be a ruler during that time, during the eclipse, they got someone else to be the king for those moments. So they got a dummy king and queen to look after the kingdom during the eclipse. And then, then they had to kill them afterwards. Otherwise they would have had bad luck. So yeah. But yeah, so like there was superstition, but there was also lots of people like working on research, like genuinely trying to understand the world. At the same time as like you trying to understand the world, people get so superstitious as well. So also makes sense for people to call something they don't yet understand magic. Exactly. And like we have to remember, like natural philosophers, those people over the centuries who were doing alchemy, and like if you go back far enough, like they were in a minority. Like it is a privilege to be able to actually, through those times, to be actually able to be someone to study these things. So if you're a man of privilege, if you're a person of privilege, generally it would have been a man, but there would have been women as well, hence witches. Witches were, as far as I know, genuine people who were witches were women who were also trying to study chemistry and cures for people and try and make people better. But of course, sometimes it didn't work. So hence, yeah. But like there was, it's like it's a small minority of people who were in positions to do that, which means that the general populace, most people would have been peasants or would have been serfs, depending on the time period. So a lot of the common folk were more focused on like just like bringing in the harvest or doing the work that most people did and living their lives, rather than trying to think, well, I wonder how water is made up. I wonder what makes metal work. Like there's a lot of, so like when you have all that folklore stuff, it means that then you have people coming through towns and entertaining people who are storytellers, and storytellers, if it's not particularly, like some countries would have, some regions would have had storytellers that were far more sophisticated, still learning everything by rote, but would have been doing things like they would have been only allowed to tell their stories, and like the stories would have been more about recounting histories and stuff like that in a fun way. But yeah, I think it's something that it's always been kind of like, I'd like to see the history of like science and realizing that like a lot of that stuff which people thought was magic, the people who were studying it, those people who would have been like considered like magicians or wizards or whatever in those days, they were just wise people who were genuinely trying to just do science in their time with the knowledge that they had. Yeah. Oh, I'm glad you enjoyed the history. LJ, how are you doing? Good to see you. I don't know if we can get a shout out for LJ. How is Grovecraft going? I've been trying to catch into a stream or two every now and then if I can. Good. Oh, guys, please go follow LJ. LJ is one of the wonderful Grovers on Grovecraft. Which is still going strong as far as I know. I've been seeing stuff being posted there fairly regularly. So yeah, please go follow LJ, and then you can check out any other Grovers as well if you like. We're just fishing. I've caught a lot of fish. I'm still trying to catch the fish that I want, which is the legendary fish from the Acacia Kingdom. And we're kind of in a race against King Elfie, who is trying to catch the legendary of the Mangrove Kingdom right now. So, yeah. That's crazy, the things we figured out with such little tools in history. The thing is, like, people have been learning from each other over the century. Always, like, we kind of forget that, like, there's always people who are interested in learning. Always people are interested in finding out more. And I think sometimes when people start exploring natural sciences, there are some people who get scared about what could happen. I think sometimes the fear is that some people see those, like, the thing is, like, look, you can see it even now. There is a pushback against science. There's always going to be people who push back against science. No matter how much science does for people, there's always going to be a pushback. And I don't like associating it with religion. But there are, and it's definitely not all. It's definitely not all, because like I know most people who are religious are not anti-science at all. But there is a vocal minority that often kind of like decide to push against it. And I don't think it's just a fear of the unknown. I think it's a fear sometimes that they think that science is trying to disprove their faith. And like the thing is, science does sometimes disprove some traditions in faith, not necessarily the faith itself, but sometimes the traditions that are the long-held standing traditions, like stuff. Like for example, yesterday was Trans Day of International Trans Day of Visibility, so take it as you will. So yeah, you know, it's not just religion, it's those in power, the uneducated are easy to control. So yeah, it can be that. It is often the case that ignorance is abused. But a lot of the time, those in power will try to use faith as a tool, is what I've noticed. And it is a very powerful tool. It can be a very powerful tool. But yeah. There would also be people versed in home remedies, helpful herbs and whatnot, just information passed on for generations, not necessarily based on science as what we know today, but remedies from wives' tales were proven effective. The thing is, those wives' tales, home remedies, those little tales, those little cures, they would have been, they were proven effective by, that's proven effect, that's science, that's a scientific method in action. So someone noticed that this herb helped someone, like for example, say for example aspirin, it comes from tree bark. Someone noticed that, let's just imagine that 1,000 years ago, a woman was out foraging and decided, okay, I'm going to grab this bark, going to try it out. She maybe picked up a whole bunch of other things as well, and she's going to try them out and see how they affected. And what she found was she probably tried out a whole bunch of other different things, and they probably didn't make her feel very great, or they didn't work or they did nothing. And then she tried the bark of the bark which gave her, which is essentially aspirin, and she realized, hang on a second, this is numbing my pain a little bit. I can use that medicinally. I can use that as a way to like help out. So that is scientific method in practice. That's what the women who were accused of being witches did. Those healers, that knowledge is there, and then it was passed on word of mouth rather than written down, because people didn't write back then. So it is not sitting down in a lab doing safe science with all the procedures that we have today to do things really, really well. But those procedures that we know how to do today through science, these are things that we have learned through experimentation and brought into practice into modern day. So that we've been able to, because of proliferation of literacy, we've been able to share that information with people far better. Nowadays, we could even just like grab a DNA sample in one city, and it could be turned into digital information. It can be sent to someone else within a short amount of time. So like it is like communication is a huge key to changing things. But like all of it, that is scientific method. I think that's what witches were doing 1,000 years ago. They were doing scientific method. It's not religion. Yeah. The one thing those things people are hard expecting, sometimes they were told their whole life was true, proven wrong. It is tough. Look, the thing is, like, sometimes they think it's proven wrong. It's they think it's proven wrong, and like that's scary. Like they're told this is what you have to do this and this and this, and that's like that can be scary. But yeah, oh yeah, so cool. Like we can literally send a message across the world in seconds. It's actually kind of crazy we can do that. I remember seeing these maps of just like travel across the US, mainland US, and it showed how every decade or so, with the introduction of like faster travel and better systems to cross the continental US, you could see the speed of which you could get across the US just increasing over the 19th century, which is, considering how big the continent was, is kind of crazy to think. Like, these days, if you have a landmass, you can get across most landmasses pretty quickly. It's only when you have to, if you have to deal with water in between, that it gets a little bit more complicated. You have to fly or whatever. But even flying, I could get to Australia within 2 days. I can get to Australia within 2 days. My great-grandmother, my great-grandparents, my great-grandfather was from Australia. He came to Ireland to study medicine and met his wife there. They moved back to Australia to have a family, and he set up a medical practice in Queensland. And then she moved back to Ireland with all the children. She had several children. I'm pretty sure he would have come to Ireland before the Suez Canal would have been built. Quilby! Say Beans, thanks so much for coming in. Guys, thank you so much for the raid. Welcome in. Oh, Kidda Bear is back again. It's been hanging out. Hi, Quill. How are you doing? Are you working on a secret project, or do you want to let us know what you guys are up to today? We're fishing. Yeah. Welcome in, guys. We're fishing for the legendary acacia fish. And we're talking about the history of science and witchcraft, and how witchcraft was really just science. I just finished a new build. Okay, creative. Yes, I'm looking forward to seeing it on the server. Hope you had a fun time. Yeah, we're just fishing and chatting and having a good time. But yeah, guys, if anyone needs to raid and run, please do go look after yourselves. If you don't know who I am, my name is Nathra. I'm an Irish content creator. There's an awful lot of Skyblock, and we're currently in Skyblock Kingdoms. And over at the Acacia Kingdom, fishing. Oh, I love the sounds of the... Oh, I didn't even notice this. This is... Oh, I thought I saw something. I thought for a sec that this part was this plant was on top of this plant, because like if you could place that plant on top of that plant, it'd be so cool. I don't think you can. Yeah, I don't think you can. Cactus flower on top of a firefly bush, that would be awesome. Well, if anyone needs to raid and run and look after themselves, please do go look after yourselves. That's important. Yeah, we're just going to be hanging out here for a little while longer. But yeah, and chatting about how the world works, or how people work anyway in the world, and how they try to understand how the world works. It's just something I've been thinking about, like having been, since I started watching the SciShow stuff again, and then I watched that particular video, and then also at the same time recently just getting into watching the second season of The Mayfair Witches, which is on Netflix. It's a fine show, but it made me think, because the Mayfair Witches story is kind of based on what the perception of magic would have been like old gods and rituals to do potions and stuff like that, and spells and things. And you're kind of looking at it and thinking, so these are when you watch the Mayfair Witches, what you're watching is a modern telling, and it is a modern story, like it's set in modern times, but that modern telling is basically saying, this is what witches were, this is what we think witches are, and what people used to think witches were back a couple hundred years ago, and what the magics that they were doing and all that jazz, and just like the worshipping pagan gods or whatever. And you're like, when you kind of think about it, you realize, so the Netflix right now is creating a story. I like Anna Rice. It is a good story. So that story is basically just like the storytellers from hundreds of years ago, those traveling storytellers who went around villages and created fantasies and told, just like with their words, like they told stories about that would have basically given people ideas of like, oh, witches are evil or whatever. Lily bells, yeah. Regarding religion, as you emphasize, science sometimes threatens a person's perception of their religious traditions, but through religion, science don't necessarily need to be conflict. No, that's the thing is, and I think actually that's another thing that sometimes gets perceived in media. And one of the biggest culprits I'm going to point out is a fairly recent one. It's probably a decade or two old now. Dan Brown. So Dan Brown, he wrote, what was the name of the show, the movie again, or the book again? It's based off Leonardo da Vinci's possible puzzles and stuff. Oh, why can't I remember what it's called? Da Vinci Code. There we go. Anyway, the Da Vinci Code. The Da Vinci Code explores a lot of mysticism, but also quite a few times. It mentions like science, like it's just like, kind of implies that like there's a juxtaposition between science and faith. And it kind of almost tries to reinforce it a little bit, at least from the American perspective in it. Whereas I would say that at least what I appreciate is that the scientists that they did show in the show that did have faith were kind of like, no, it doesn't contradict my beliefs to explore. To be a scientist exploring using like the CERN collider to create particles. One of the particles being nicknamed the God particle. It was just nicknamed. It isn't actually God. So yeah, I had a conversation with my grandma once about evolution. She declared that man was created the image of God. Therefore, man must have been created perfect. I will quote Dara Breen for you. Dara Breen's an Irish comedian. If I was made perfect, why can I bite the inside of my own mouth? That's probably that's one of my favorite Dara Breen quotes. Dara Breen is a legend. He's a great Irish comedian. We're stuck in a really trashy competitive dating show right now when we have time to watch TV. It's terrible. We can't stop watching. Oh, can't stop it. It's just, those things just happen, don't they? I pointed out to her that the ability to change as the environment and requires a change as part of the perfection. I gave her some examples and she seemed to agree. See, the thing is, like, people are just kind of like told, oh, evolution is this. Evolution is a difficult concept to grasp. We're not designed to understand the concept of millions of millions of millions of years. That's a very long time. Most of us, like humans, are on average, I think it was like life expectancy of 80 years. And we can only really understand time within the time that we ourselves have been alive. We can only compare time. Like, one of the things I remember as a kid is just like time, like a day really did feel like it lasted forever. When you were younger, like the time concept is you definitely experience time at a different rate as you get older, I think. Because you've got a better understanding of how long time is. But we can only really understand time from our own time frame. It's incredibly difficult for us to comprehend. We can comprehend a couple of 100 years. That's doable. But if I go back 1,000 years, I can't just like off the top of my head say, oh, okay, well that's that many generations of people. Because like if I had that idea, then I'd be like, okay, well that's a bit more difficult to grasp the concept of. But like even just like going back through the human timeline, because humans have been like human civilization has been around what for, I want to say 10,000-ish years. And by civilization I mean like the first cities, first like empires and stuff like that. So you've got like proper Egyptian. What we have to remember is like, do you know how long the Egyptians were the only major empire in the world? Like the only kind of like what we saw as what we compare like with civilization. They were the only ones for a really long time. There's a reason why we had the old, middle, and new kingdoms. They lasted a really long time, and other civilizations are like, there's Egyptians have been going longer than the Common Era, which is like from the last, if you go like was it CE or whatever, ACE or whatever it is. So yeah. The thing is, recent times, scientists are actively witnessing evolution happening in quite a few species. I think it's really cool. Exactly. And I think that's that we're at a point where we can make those records. We can, because like we can especially like in species that reproduce at much faster rates, like the generations are much shorter. You can see things like that. You can actively see changes. So like, especially like in say insects or animals that don't live particularly long, so yeah. So it is, you can see those things. Raccoons in cities are actively evolving to be cuter. That is cool. I love that. Who needs to worry about? I want to keep the rain. Is someone keeping? Maybe I'm guessing that maybe Alfie's keeping the rain in. So I'm not gonna worry about it. But yeah, guys, I thank you for listening in. I've been just really enjoying this conversation today, because like I really feel like it's something that I think about quite regularly, is like about like how the world works. I like the scientisty stuff. Pretty sure that raccoon study turned out to be heavily biased, but it's still an interesting note. But I'm guessing the person who did the study just finds raccoons really, really cute. What example I gave her was an appendix. I don't know if it was information I gave her was completely incorrect. We didn't have the internet for fact checking then. Yeah, but it was understood as back then the appendix was used to help digest stuff we just didn't tend to eat anymore. Since we don't use it anymore, has it gotten smaller? It can be removed without any impacts. Yeah. Oh sure. You're seeing a major. I think I got that right. I'm glad you're enjoying it. I love anthropology. It was so cool. I wish I took more of it in school. I didn't actually do anthropology. But now you've said anthropology. Anytime someone mentions anthropology, I automatically think of Chakotay, First Officer Chakotay in Star Trek Voyager, because he was an anthropologist. And actually, so was Picard? No. Picard was he wasn't interested in anthropology, Picard was interested in... What's the other ology that deals with old objects in the ground? Archaeology. There we go. He was interested in archaeology. There we go. I got it. Luffy probably typed it. They heard it. Yeah, Picard was big into archaeology. We honestly wish more of them. Yeah, I'll try to. I think I'm gonna watch more. Try and watch more science YouTube videos and stuff, because like I think they'll be good ways to just kind of like get the brain going. That, and I need to do some more reading of books again, because those are just great chats. I love talking about them. That's probably true because it's biased. A lot of raccoons are pretty cute in their general. They like, we've got Acorn over there, so makes perfect sense. Acorn is adorable. I don't suppose you've ever had to look after a raccoon, Slip. I love a dex build. How are we doing? I've known someone who has a raccoon. Wouldn't be surprised if someone managed. How domesticated was the raccoon? I would be very surprised. I don't think raccoons were necessarily the most domesticatable animal yet. Don't think they've quite got that far. It's kind of like foxes. Like, you wouldn't be exactly looking to domesticate a fox. The foxes are definitely doing pretty well at the moment in this, like around the place, because like they're the ones that seem to be adapting well to like city life and stuff like that. We see so many foxes around Dublin, and I mean literally everywhere in Dublin. You would not be surprised to see a fox like just like running across the street in the city centre. They're quite often. She was a forest ranger. Ah, okay, that explains it. That explains why there was a connection there with a raccoon then, if they're a forest ranger. The other one that we have here, the other animal that we have here that is not so much in the city. It isn't in the city, but it's definitely like in the suburbs of the city a little bit more now, is like the deer. Deer are kind of like popping it. Like anywhere that was like country like 10 years ago, they've got deer coming into the gardens and stuff. There are foxes that are in the process of being domesticated. There are foxes? Okay, well, that's something. And the one time I went outside and my cat was just laying on the chair and a raccoon was under it, and he was totally fine with it. Oh, cats are a world unto their own. They're like surprises me sometimes to see deer walking down the middle of our city roads. Oh wow, you're getting that in your area. Yeah, I don't think we quite got them running down the city roads, mainly because like the city centre in Dublin has got a nice big huge park for them to hang out in. We've got one of the biggest parks in Europe, walled parks in Europe, called Phoenix Park. It's also the place where a lot of people go and feed the deer, even though they should not be feeding the deer. It's not good for them, and it's not good for, it's just not good for the deer. That's a story. Okay, did I actually make a video of that though? So here's a fun thing. I was actually talking with somebody at SkyBlockers there today. Or was it today? It might have been today. And one of the things that came up was that I used to vlog. Don't worry, they actually aren't on the internet anymore, so you won't be able to find them. But a long time ago, I did actually used to vlog, and I think did we do a vlog of Dina? I can't remember if we did a vlog in Phoenix Park or not. But it was it was a fun time. It was a bunch of friends. We'd actually just we'd find a nice place to go check out somewhere not too far from Dublin or within Dublin, and then bunch of us might vlog it, and a bunch of we'd just be hanging out. We had some birds of prey around our house and vultures to clean up what they dropped. Wow. They're bred to be more social and trusting, the foxes, that is. So just like in Minecraft then. So if you breed the foxes in Minecraft, you'll get a baby that won't run away from you. Yeah. I don't know if I'll ever release those vlogs. Again. At least I won't be releasing them while I'm in my current places of work. That's not happening. So yeah. Okay, well, we've got 4 minutes to catch this fish. Come on. At least let me catch a fish that allows me to get to 113. Like, if I can get to 113, that'd be awesome. Okay. We are cycling through the... If Elfie is genuinely fishing right now, we are cycling through the rates of the thing right now. So we are much more likely to get a legendary with a bunch of us fishing. So yeah. Science update. Watching the launch of a manned rocket to the moon on Vikings POV. We are 9 minutes to launch. Official to go for launch. Oh, that's a good point. Okay, well, I am going to I'm probably going to finish up before that happens then. I appear to have gotten bitten by the deep cleaning bug. Downside, I missed most of stream. Upside, my kitchen looks gorgeous. Do you know what? That's a good reason to miss stream. It's a good reason to miss stream. It's like, yes, I got the thing done. I got that thing done, and I got a nice, lovely kitchen to work with. That's lovely. What was it? I was talking to one of my choir members there the other day, and she said she's been having trouble sleeping. She keeps waking up really early. And by really early, I mean like 4 in the morning. So what she ends up doing is, yeah, she ends up doing a lot of like housework just because like she can't, she's not sleeping and there's nothing else to do. So just housework and all sorts of things. It's just like, I was like, your house must be absolutely spotless at this stage. And then she says that her husband doesn't turns out no, she didn't actually say that. Her husband is lovely. Miss Mori, thank you so much for contributing 19,168 to the thing, and Becca's contributed 15,000 to the thing. I'm gonna have to check and see where we're at. I'll check that once we have hit the timer for fishing today, and I'll see how close we are. I have extended the date for the challenge because originally it was going to be today, but yeah, we've got a few more days added so that we can give everyone a chance to do the challenge, because I know I missed a bit because I was sick and stuff. So when I heard of the deep clean, it made no sense to me. It was just cleaning. Then we got our house ready to sell. I understood the difference. Then yes, a deep clean and a clean. Quite different. I finally run out of pennies. I can only contribute what I have available. That's okay, Miss Murray. I really appreciate you contributing what you contribute. We've got a lot of prickle fins as well. We got a shiny prickle fin there as well today. Okay, last minute. We're into the last minute now. Can we get this legendary in this last minute? Once it hits 30, we will make that our last cast of the evening. Also, I have a feeling that when I come out under this tree, I will get phantoms. Come on, legendary. What's going to happen is I'll finish up, and then Alfie will catch the legendary in the next few minutes. Okay, this is the last cast. We've hit 23:30, so this is our last cast of the night. Come on, legendary. It's a bone. It's a bone. On that note, guys, I am going to send you guys over to Viking. Yeah, Ruby's finished. I'm going to send you guys over to Viking for the thing, because that is where the rocket launch is happening. Womp womp. Okay, and let me redirect you guys on YouTube to Viking. There we go. Viking has been set up for a redirect. And Twitch. Let's get you guys over there so you can see the thing. Thanks for I loved hearing about alchemy. Yee, it was fascinating. So I wanted to share that with you, share that stuff with you. So I'm looking forward to sharing more nerdy stuff with you guys. Oh, I do kind of want to send you guys over to Elfie, but you know, everyone wants to see the Artemis launch, so I'm going to send you guys over there. So 4 more minutes. Actually, where is he situated? Is he situated in Birch, or is he situated in somewhere else? Okay, guys, go grab a raid message from everyone. You can grab that. In for the blast off. That's a great. Actually, grab that from Slipshod. Yeah, just copy paste that message from Slipshod. Don't worry about the emotes. I know they might not do the thing, but it'll be fine. Okay, have an awesome rest of your day. I will catch you guys very soon. It is time for blast off. In 3 minutes. Okay, we better go. We better go. Have fun, and I'll catch you guys on Friday. It's going to be a good Friday. I hope someone got that joke. I hope someone got that joke. It's going to be a good Friday. Oh, that was awful.